on the list and accepted as naturopathic doctors by this organization. Others that have the designation of MD, DO, DS, OMD, homeopathic doctor, even chiropractors, are allowed to become the naturopath professionally in this organization after they have taken the test, the 4-section test, a very lengthy test. Okay, there are several thousand members in the U.S., in Canada, and 14 foreign countries. It's the largest naturopathic organization. You can get a hold of that group by going to the AN, as in Nancy, MA.org. You will see where they've just tried to pass a law in Colorado trying to limit, again, naturopaths, common law occupation, but that bill got defeated. You'll also see that there are some state laws about about where they'll show a state location where they have the legislation showing which states have approved naturopath as a licensed occupation. We need to begin to remove laws for these people. If these people want to be a surgeon, go to med school. A lot of people say, well, you didn't go to the Ivy League school. No, I didn't go to the Ivy League school. However, it happened that I ended up becoming still qualified to teach pre-med and nursing anatomy in a state school. And I have a standing offer. They loved it. My classes would fill up within 2 hours after being offered, and they started them by allowing them to sign up on the internet. And when a registration opened, they would open it at midnight on the first day. Within 2 hours, from midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning, my classes would be full, and I would have people lined up outside trying to get into my class. And yes, I'd let some of them in if we could get them in the door. The reason that happened is because I published a paper my first semester. And by the way, I was hired to teach a program, a special program at this college that was the honors program. So not only were people like myself that come from the schools that I do that are not on that list of licensure because we do not cut and slash, we're qualified. You can be confident of that. But I can tell you right now, licensure does not make you competent. How many doctors have you gone to that aren't? And the whole point that I'm trying to make here is that we need to become free people in every area and everything that we do. And health is just one of them. And we need to begin to get the sunglasses off and understand where they have moved in and how and what they've stolen from us as far as our freedom. And that's the least of which, by the way, we, I think, have a question about Codex Alimentarius. Now, many people understand something here. Many people understand the Codex Alimentarius is now in effect. It is. And a lot of people say, now, remember, this is the law that is equal to the law of the land or the Constitution because it's a treaty. False. Anything based on lies and fraud is not enforceable law. We've been duped, we've been lied to, and through corruption, this law was passed. Don't you agree? So it's not valid. It would have been the same reason that if they'd signed a treaty at Copenhagen for climate control, that we wouldn't had to have listened to it or obey it, because it was based on flawed and fraudulent information and still is. There's nothing valid about that. What if I make up a lie and I give it to you and base a contract on it? Well, then it's not valid. It's fraudulent. Okay. So, boy, we've chased that, and I could chase that for 2 hours. I could go down this rabbit hole. But anyway, I want you to know something else that has just happened. One of the most important things is a wonderful thing. I think this is a great idea. And if anybody is interested in learning any of this, please let me know. There's an online university just getting started. It's going to get, guess what? Accredited by the state of Colorado and secondary education for colleges and so forth, June of this year, and I'm one of the senior faculty members. And we will be teaching alternative health. One of the courses that I'll be guiding development of is going to be called a patient advocate. It's for people that don't want to be and can't or are not trained to be a practitioner, but are wanting to help people get alternative care. So what we're going to do is teach how to basically improve the health of people by allowing them to guide those people in need. For example, if you know somebody that has cancer, you will know how emotionally that event is, not just for that person, but for the entire family around them. And they will seek and will ask, do you know of any alternative? They might be wanting answers to this dreaded, they tell them it's dreaded emergencies, but what we really want them to be able to, what we want to be able to offer from this program is someone that family, that person that has cancer can lean on, that is already trained about the alternatives, that knows all the locations in the country and the world, what their strengths are, where the best places is to go for this kind of problem and the best one for this, what the options are, how to guide them through all the baloney they get, maybe all the crap they find on the internet. And so that class is a patient advocate, and they are a kind of practitioner, but they don't do it directly. They're a guidance counselor for health. And so that's being developed. Okay. Well, let me read you this. The first European Congress for Frequency Therapy had been held in Munich, Germany, June 2008. I have a video that was released by this group that Hans here at ArgusoogRadio is going to put up in the links. I've already pasted it in the chat. He's going to be putting that up. And so you'll want to listen to or watch that. And the reason why I'm telling you about this is, if you recall, the state of Oklahoma, when the West Nile virus broke out and all the horses were getting sick, and they were concerned that it was the next jump was to people, which is correct. Well, we got it stopped. They had pulled out all the stops in the medical arena. And veterinarians finally decided, and the head veterinarian in Oklahoma said, what about that guy that's in your office? And that happened to be me. And so, long story short, I developed a protocol after I assessed what was going on and did all the testing and so forth. And guess what we used? We decided to go the right frequency direction, and it stopped the West Nile virus in its tracks in Oklahoma. And Oklahoma was pandemic. It was an epidemic there, not pandemic, but epidemic. They're a little different. Okay. The Right Frequency Congress. It says here, in the past few years, there's been growing interest in frequency therapy. When I started my first day of class in anatomy, one of the things that I would tell them is I would write, first of all, I would write chemistry, or I would write, alchemy on the board. Blackboards, this is about the only time I'd use blackboards. And I said, we used to do alchemy. And then I write chemistry.